the laws of marriage, when the Lord healed our marriage, I asked the Holy Spirit to teach me how to be a husband. I read in John 16 where Jesus said, when the Holy Spirit comes, he'll lead you into all truth. And so we were on the brink of divorce. And the night that I told Karen to get out of the house, I asked the Holy Spirit, because she was about to leave, I said, teach me how to be a husband. And it was the first time I'd ever shown any humility or been willing to admit that I didn't know something. And he did. And it was a few days later, I woke up and I was praying and reading my Bible, and the Lord said, turn to Genesis 2. And I turned to Genesis 2 and I read that passage, for this cause a man will leave his mother and father, will cleave unto his wife. The two shall become one flesh, and they were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. And it didn't mean anything to me. I mean, I read it, I just looked at it. And the Holy Spirit said, just keep reading it. And I kept reading it, and it just didn't mean anything to me. And then all of a sudden, it just unpacked. And the Lord showed me that there are 4 laws of marriage. And what I realized was I was breaking all 4 laws. Of all the 4 laws, I hadn't done anything right. And that's the reason that we were failing in marriage. Listen to this. From the very beginning, God told us the laws of marriage. Listen, when God created Eve, immediately when he was finished creating Eve, he spoke those words. The laws of marriage were present. When God created the earth, he created laws to govern the earth. Laws create order, safety, and predictability. Without laws, there is no order, there's no safety, and there is no predictability. And that's the way most people feel today about marriage. It's just a crapshoot. Am I going to succeed? Are we going to be able to succeed in marriage? And so you don't know. You get married, you just hope that you do. But you don't have to be lucky. It's not for a lucky few. Every single person can succeed in marriage if you follow the laws. Law number 1 is the law of priority. It has to be first. Marriage has to be first. It has to be before your kids, before your work, before your friends, before social media, before sports, before everything else, in real terms. It can't be second. For this cause a man will leave his father and mother. And by the way, there's a reason that we know that God didn't speak that just for Adam and Eve. They didn't have mothers. Adam and Eve are the only 2 people in the history of the world without belly buttons. Is that not profound? Aren't you glad you came to XO just to find that out right there? And so they didn't have mothers. Why would God say that a man would leave his father and mother when they didn't have mothers to leave? That was not a specific statement to them. It was for all people of all times. The law of gravity doesn't care who you are. You jump off the house, you're going to get hurt. Doesn't matter what your name is, doesn't matter what your age is, nothing matters except the law of gravity is a law. It is good to those who honor it, and it's bad to those who don't. The laws of marriage, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you've been, it doesn't matter what your past is like. If you honor the laws, marriage is going to be wonderful for you. If you break the laws, they'll break you. And we broke every one of them. The second law is the law of pursuit. You have to work at it. It says, for this cause a man will leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife. Now the word cleave, or be joined in some translations, that's just not, when you think of cleave in the English language, you think of meat cleaver. That's not a good picture to get in your head, about marriage. It's the word dabak. It means to pursue with all your energy. God said, if this relationship is going to work, that you have to work at it with all of your energy. Marriage works when you work at it. And this is what I'm going to talk about in this message is the law of pursuit. The number 3 law is the law of partnership. They two shall become one. It's the most profound word that you can use for unity is the two shall become one. You have to share. Marriage is about sharing. There are people that I counsel all the time. They're 2 individuals living in the same house who have nothing in common. They don't share anything. They may share children, but they don't talk a lot about the kids or pray about the kids. They're just 2 individuals. God created marriage to share. We share our lives together. The number 4 law is the law of purity. It says the man and his wife were both naked. The word there is arom. They were mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually completely exposed without any fear whatsoever until they sinned. And the instant they sinned, they began to hide themselves from God and each other because you can only be intimate in an atmosphere of safety. And when we sin against each other with our words or deeds and we don't take responsibility for it, we cannot have intimacy because this is the Holy of Holies. I can't open it to a person who's careless. And the way that you fall in love, by the way, when you were young and dumb and you fell in love, you naturally keep all 4 laws. The laws create love. The laws of love you cannot create love apart from the laws of God. So what did you do right when you started dating? You put each other first. You worked at it, right? If you had just been just a bum up until then, you started working at it then. You shared everything. You laid awake till 2 in the morning breathing on the phone. And you shared all your feelings, all about your past. You share. And you were careful, right? I mean, when Karen and I started dating, I would drive so carefully. You fast forward 5 years, she was constantly, I was just a horrible driver. And I'd hit a huge bump and her head would hit the ceiling. I said, well, just stop, griping, and wondered why we had a rotten marriage. And so when I realized, the Lord told me that just one morning I saw there's 4 laws of marriage. They're laws. And so when I realized there are 4 laws of marriage, I thought, Karen's not first, golf is first in my life. I never I resent having to meet her needs and work at the relationship. A lot of people have a romantic misconception that if you marry the right person, that you shouldn't have to work at it. Well, let me say, if chemistry makes marriages work, why are the Hollywood marriages the worst marriages on earth? If people had chemistry, those people are so pretty, they should explode when they kiss. Chemistry doesn't make relationships work. Work makes relationships work.